All right, folks, Yishai Fleischer here. I'm in beautiful Yerushalayim on one of the most gorgeous days I could have ever prayed for. There's such a spiritual gift to be here in the spiritual capital of the world. Behind me, the Mount of Olives. To my right, the Temple Mount. And I'm going on tour today in the city of David, the original Jerusalem. We're going to walk through the places that the Jewish people pilgrimaged to when they were going to the Temple Mount. We're going to touch King David and his dynasty. And our guide today is none other than Doron Spielman. Doron Spielman, shalom and welcome.
Shalom aleichem.
All right, thank you so much. You are the former vice president of the city of David. You're a major in the IDF in the spokesman's office.
Correct.
And you're also the author of this amazing new book called When the Stones Speak. And that's really good because there's a lot of stones around here and they seem like they have a lot to say because there's tremendous history here. But my first question to you is, why are we outside of the old city walls? I thought we should be inside if we're going to be talking about Jerusalem's history.
You nailed it, Yishai. The only old city in the world that is outside what are known as the old city walls is actually Jerusalem. Every postcard, everyone has a picture of this beautiful city. But it was in 1867 that Queen Victoria was looking for treasure. She was looking for the Ark of the Covenant. She sent an explorer here. He's digging in the old city walls, and one day he decides to take a walk where we are now. He goes down to the valley right next to us. He sees a spring. He goes through the spring, goes into a mountain, follows the spring, and he uncovers an entire underground city. It turns out Jerusalem from the Bible is actually down there. So to get to Jerusalem from the Bible, and this is what I'm talking about when the stones speak, you have to leave the old city walls and go to the real old city.
It's to the south.
It's to the south of the temple, which is right here.
I love this spot. This is one of my favorite spots. You know, I used to live right out here on the Mount of Olives. Behind us is the whole Mount of Olives Ridge. It's actually a giant cemetery and the Jewish people's most ancient cemetery. And this is the part of it that faces towards the Temple Mount. The City of David, the organization you worked for, owns also property on the very top of the Mount of Olives.
That's the flag.
That's the flag out there. It's called the Choshen Building. And then we're standing right in front of the old city walls. The Temple Mount is right there, the heart of the Temple Mount. And this is kind of a continuation of the old city. And that's where you got to take over and tell me, what exactly are we looking at? It's called the Ophel, but what does that mean?
I mean, it's amazing. These stones right here, each one of them tells a story. And in fact, the one right here, this is part of what Dr. Eilat Mazar says is the wall built by King Solomon. So we're outside the old city, and here you have a massive building with a wall from King Solomon that goes underneath this road and extends all the way from here around to the city of David where we're going to be sitting. And so Solomon, we were inside Solomon's wall, man.
So this is like first temple.
This is early first temple.
Early
this is
first
970 BCE. This is when it begins. Solomon really takes King David's kingdom and he turns it into a proper kingdom, right? He had the proper tax collectors. He knew how to build. His father was a fighter. Right. But Solomon, you know, it's not
and
by chance.
visionary.
And a visionary.
Right.
And he compiled everything. But Solomon was kind of the guy you wanted to run your company.
Right.
He knew what he was doing. He was a CEO. And we know from here, look, I mean, right behind you and me is two gates. There's the triple gate here, which is known as the Huldah Gate. That goes right to the Temple Mount. It was sealed by the Muslims. That's the second Temple Gate. And over here is called the Double Gate, where there's a little window. You see that little window right over there?
Yeah.
I had an opportunity, an unbelievable opportunity years ago to go inside the Temple Mount. And I was on the other side of that window. I have a picture of the other side of that window. And I was following the pilgrimage road because the pilgrimage road brought pilgrims right there. And if you walk straight, and this is what I did, you walk down a hallway, they paved it with new flooring, but the pillars on the side are from the time of Herod. They're second temple pillars holding up the Temple Mount. You walk down a highway, they're gorgeous, they're all carved out, and then you pop out of the ground directly in front of where the temple was to the Dome of the Rock. It began in your home with your mom and dad saying, we're gonna go on a pilgrimage. Take clothes for 3 days. You're walking, you're on your horses, your donkey, you're stopping, having fires, you're camping out, you're eating off a little stick.
You're having so much fun with your family.
Fun with your family. Then you get to Jerusalem and there's noise and people juggling fire and barbecues everywhere. And then you get to the pool and you wash off and you start the road. And this is the culmination of existence. And you're walking up the pilgrimage road and then you get to that gate, you go underground. And when you emerge, it's like entering Sharei Shamayim. It's like entering heaven. This was all covered under dirt. It's ironic. Now that the Jewish people are back in their home, only now do certain people in the world decide to challenge the fact that this is our land? I mean, it's ironic. 2,000 years, no one asked the question. Now we're home. Jews are colonizers. God, I really think, decided to have these stones uncovered to speak only now. When those voices are trying to say we're not here, they're saying, of course we are. We've been waiting the whole time. It's like a dialogue here. Of course, they're winning.
Well, you're being the spokesman for them, and they're telling the story. And we're telling the story here in Jerusalem, in ancient Jerusalem, with Doron Spielman and his new book, When the Stones Speak. Doron, behind us is the old city walls, beautiful. And this is on the way up to the Western Wall. Right here, though, is this UN school. Not just a UN school, but an UNRWA school. Isn't UNRWA that organization that was complicit in Hamas's terrorism in Gaza? Isn't that this thing right here?
This is it. This is the same UNRWA, Yishai, that builds these schools. They build schools throughout Gaza where they're inculcating and indoctrinating the kids in Gaza. They're doing the same thing with these girls here. And this is the same organization that abetted Hamas in Gaza.
I thought that Israel has made UNRWA illegal. My friend and deputy mayor of Jerusalem, Arya King, worked very hard to evacuate UNRWA from the city, get rid of them, but I still see them here. Now they don't have that UNRWA sign. Is it just a new name? Is it the same thing? What's going on here?
Put it this way, they're still operating. They're biding their time, hoping another U.S. administration will come in and give tons of U.S. tax dollars back to UNRWA. U.S. tax dollars fund the UN, which funds UNRWA, which is not only complicit with Hamas. When you want to find the ambulances and the machinery that was used on October 7th, you find them in UNRWA complexes.
Right.
This is U.S. tax dollars going to terror. It's crazy. This is the indoctrination of Hamas, which here is a clear example, been funded by the UN, being funded by US and European tax dollars. And the new government, the new Trump administration is trying to do this. We've got to call a quits to this. Not only for us, it's for them. It's for these girls. Shalom, shalom, salam alaikum.
I think this book also needs to be in Arabic. In Arabic.
I think so.
And needs to be taught to them as well so that they don't have their minds stolen from them and the truth taken away from them.
Exactly.
Okay, Doron, there's the old city walls. There they are.
And look, the sign to the city of David is pointing away from the old city walls because it's down here. Just like we said, it's outside.
And up there is where the entrance to the Western Wall is?
That's where the entrance to the Western Wall. And one day the pilgrimage will take us all the way underneath this road into the old city of Jerusalem.
Wow.
Underneath the road.
Just check out these signs. Check out these signs. How cool is it? City of David, Western Wall, Mount of Olives, and I love this one, Tel Aviv. Right?
Tel Aviv.
Just Tel Aviv is that way, you know?
Exactly.
I love that. I love that.
New York, 4,000 miles that way.
Yeah. Tokyo, Hong Kong, that's right. Okay, we're crossing the street and we're heading down to the city of David.
Yishai, you remember last time we were here, we parked here. This was our parking lot where you put your car.
Oh my gosh.
And it's changed just a little bit. We had to do some remodeling with the parking lot.
This doesn't look like a parking lot.
We had to do a little remodeling, and therefore now this is essentially a portal into the past.
Wow. I don't usually see buckets on a rail. What's going on here? What are these things?
Well, this used to be our parking lot, and now it's a big sandbox. So these buckets are what enable us to take out tens of thousands of tons of dirt to go all the way down 50 feet underneath the ground into the Bible.
Wow.
That's the Bible down all the way down there.
And it came out one bucket at a time?
One bucket at a time. And by the way, every single bucket is sifted and checked for pottery.
Wow.
And this is like, imagine reading a book layer by layer by layer.
This whole thing was covered?
Covered. We thought that there would be 6 civilizations here. There were 11 civilizations here.
Wow. What are those dudes doing?
Sifting through the stones, sifting through the sand, and coming up with tomorrow's greatest discoveries.
That's fun. That's a good job, huh?
You know what you'll see on the news tomorrow, he's going to find today.
That's exciting.
Here, come down here. I just want to explain it to you. Where this container is where the parking lot was.
Oh,
last time you were here, way over our heads. Wow. And now we're literally going back in time. I mean, look at this. We haven't rebuilt anything. Can you believe last time you parked here, this was what was beneath your car, these walls. This is already Second Temple period times. And we've got Hasmonean and Hanukkah period, but now we're really going to go into the Bible. So watch your step here. This wooden staircase was, made on site, one could call it. We just walked a minute and we have now gone back 2,600 years. You have descended through a story. We started at the late Muslim era. A few stuff, there was nothing big here during that time. Went all the way through the Ottoman period, the Byzantine period, the Roman period, Second Temple, Hanukkah, and now the final walk is all the way into the Bible. Watch your step, please.
One of the big critiques of City of David is that you guys don't care so much about the Muslim periods. That you guys kind of like, whatever, you're just trying to get past it to get to the Bible, and therefore the claims of the Muslims are kind of pushed aside.
If the Muslims had any history in the City of David, then why would they build the old city wall, not including the City of David? There is almost nothing here from the Muslim period. During that time period, this was fields, mostly potato fields and basic farming. There were 2 Muslim families and 1 Jewish family that were here, we know from history.
Wow.
And what you find in this area is mostly just agriculture. However, anytime we do find something that in any other culture would be insignificant, the Israel Antiquities Authority saves it. Why? Because we want to show that at least there's something. So we're constantly hoping to find something.
Why is that?
Because when people come here, they make these claims, and we want to say, listen, of course we're not destroying Muslim archaeology. There's nothing to find. That's the issue. And so anything, the most basic thing, we found a tabun. A tabun's like a basic oven. Now, normal archaeology anywhere in the world, a basic oven made of stones, but here it's going to be showcased to show that the Muslims here. And I think it's important. You know why? Yeah, the Muslims were here. And then before them, you had the Turks were here. And before them, the Crusaders. And before them, the Romans. And then the Jews were here for 1,000 years. We had a dynasty of 1,000 years before we were exiled. And that was 600 years before Muhammad. Let the history speak. Do you see there's 2 stones with notches in them?
Yeah.
That is, as we found them, that is the entrance to a home from the Bible. And that is where you tethered your donkeys or your horses before going in. As is, all these homes have not been rebuilt, Yishai. Going back 2,700 years, you open up the Bible. I want to show you what happened to this home.
Doron, I get to work with also a great scholar and archaeologist, which is Dr. Noam Arnon. He told me a line one time that just blew me away, and I always remember this line. The future is set. The future is one. The past is always changing.
That's great.
I love that line.
That's great.
You know?
It's so true here, Yishai.
Right.
It's so true here because above us were the people who wanted to silence the history. The Palestinian Authority tried buying this. And now we're deep beneath them. And we're at this door to this home from the Bible.
How do you know it's from the Bible?
Because we found the seal of Natan Melech, the servant of the king.
Inside this house?
Inside this house, which is from the 2nd book of Kings. And he is the attendant of Josiah.
Wow.
Now, not only was he here, this was an important house because the Babylonians, when they came to destroy not the 2nd temple, the 1st temple in 586 BCE, they destroyed this home. This whole wall is burning. Here, look over here. Do you see there's ash here? Look at this ash.
I see the ash.
This ash.
I see that black ash.
Here, give me your hand here. That is from the burning of the 1st temple of Jerusalem, my friend. Inside this ash, all around inside this home, we found more than 100 date seeds that now, based on microtechnology we analyzed, they all date back directly to the time of the burning, around 600 BCE, which shows you've got carbon dating, you've got the seal from Natan Melech, you have the rocks in place, and you have the Bible. They literally come together, the same book we've been reading, the Word, directly where we're standing.
Wow. What am I supposed to feel when I have this burn on my hand? Is this a mourning, or is this a realization of rebirth, or is this just some kind of cold history that, how am I supposed to relate to this?
Well, let me tell you, the people who saw that burning were taken to Babylon and wrote a psalm called By the Rivers of Babylon.
You're right.
We hung up our harps on the trees and we mourned. How can we
sing the song of
sing
Zion?
The song of Zion? And think about what they were thinking. It's like the Jews in the Holocaust. It's over. And now we're here all these years later, and on your living hand you have this. We're doing a show for the world because we're back.
That's right.
We're back. Actually, you know something, Yishai? I wrote a little note to you here. I hope you'll forgive me. I'm gonna put a little bit of this burning.
Wow.
I want you to remember this experience.
Wow.
Because the truth is here. Every page here is true. And now you have the destruction, because I know that you will take this book and bring this for the living, for life, the life of the Jewish people and the life of the Bible.
Amen. It's a burnt room, but really what we're talking about is Jewish continuity. That's what this is about.
No question. If you, in the state of Israel today, and facing the enemies, whether it's Iran or the Houthis or whoever else, or the extreme left that wants to erase us, we draw strength from the people that came before us and withstood. They did not die in vain.
That's it. That's it. We gain strength from them. We have a phrase here in Israel that those who died on October 7th in fighting, they commanded us victory. They commanded us continuity and victory. And that word in Hebrew, netzach, means both victory and eternity. So that's where those two things come together.
Look at this pottery right here.
Nice.
Second Temple period handle. Right there. Right there. You do a little sifting here. You know, there was a woman here that was sifting. Her name was Nadine, and she was volunteering. She came for a month. There was a crew here of about 100 people. Everyone's looking for important stuff. Nadine comes, and she unearths in a room just over here. They hear her screaming inside the room, and they think that there's a scorpion that bites her. So the medic comes running, and she's sitting on the ground, and in her lap is a pile of gold coins.
Wow.
She found 264 gold coins here.
Oh my gosh.
And the amazing thing was the Persians conquered this place, the Iranians, the Persians.
Where is this, in around 630 or something?
Yeah,
like that?
exactly, 630.
Yeah.
And the family, before they fled, they buried their treasure on the wall of
Oh
their
my
home
gosh.
and never came back. Can you imagine, like the Jews that left
Right.
Poland? Grandpa left some treasure in a courtyard. They're like, Grandpa left some treasure in a courtyard, but it's true.
What's the valuation? Obviously, there's no value.
It's
Priceless.
priceless.
Right.
264 pure gold bullion. They were found piled. Some of them were stacked with Heraclius, who's the emperor, last emperor of Byzantia, minted beautifully.
Oh my gosh.
People do say there were 265 and we only found 264, but we'll forgive Nadine.
That's right. Doron, this is, I guess, really what you've been telling us the whole time. There's the pool of Shiloach, the Siloam pool, right? And you go in there, that's where you're starting your journey into Jerusalem, and then you go up the road. I like the sliding door. We're going down into the bowels of the city of David, and I can feel the cool air. It's much, much, much cooler. We just walked like a few feet from the sun down here. It's already much cooler, and we're going in. Let's see what we find. Let's do it. No entry. That's right. That's where we like to go.
This is the pre-lunch tour. The post-lunch tour you can't fit.
Oh my gosh.
These are the stones of the pilgrimage road, and we're underneath it in this tunnel made during the Second Temple period where the water flowed and where the people were hiding. Basically, at the end of the Second Temple period, when the Romans were attacking, the Jews went to the tunnels.
Okay, so who built this?
This is King Herod.
He's a building genius, right?
He is probably the greatest builder in the world in the end of the pre-first century.
So we're in the drainage system of ancient Jerusalem, the Second Temple. This is Herodian. This is a Herodian-built structure. And the road, the pilgrimage road itself, is above us.
Yishai, you want to do something really cool?
Yeah.
All right. This is the drainage channel, but the road is over our head. We're going to go now up onto the road. So very carefully, follow me.
Looks like this jacket is going to dry cleaning. Oh my gosh. Doron, is this the thing? Is this the thing we've been waiting for the whole time? Is this the pilgrimage road? And what am I looking at here? Like, I mean, I'm interested in structural stuff. Like, what are these gates? What are these pillars that are holding up, these arches that hold up this thing? What's going on?
This was specially designed by engineers to be able to excavate underneath a city where there are Jews, Arabs, living, roads, schools, everything over your heads. And this keeps not only everything in place, this is made to support an 11-story building. And so what is the irony? The initial claims at the Supreme Court were that the dig is disturbing the ground below. Now the irony is none of the homes that were built here so quickly have supports on them. So anytime it rains, they move. The most secure buildings in all of Jerusalem are the ones that are above our excavation because these are supports now for their homes.
I mean, this looks like a monster project.
And the city of David has invested hundreds of millions of dollars in this excavation in order to shore up the city and be able to dig. Imagine where we're standing right now. Literally millions of people taking this journey from the pool.
Wow.
By the way, we're looking at homes. All these walls here are homes that we haven't yet dug. Look right next to us. Do you see there's an arch here?
Yeah.
So there was a home here from the Second Temple period with a water, this is a cistern right next to an opening to a cistern. And we haven't even begun to excavate the life on both sides of this road. This entire city. Imagine Fifth Avenue. The wealthiest homes are the ones that are on the avenue. So these people had walkout, you know, avenue property.
Nice. Fifth Ave.
Let's go.
I love, by the way, this system. Look, I love the mechanical aspect of this, which is this whole system of the sifting. Right. It's got to go all the way down. Again, yeah, costly and serious technological endeavor.
I mean, it's more than $100,000 per meter. I mean, it really is. And many people around the world have just donated to this because they want to be part of it. And this is the conveyor system you were asking about.
Yeah.
So all the bags, when they excavate, these bags are attached to a conveyor hook, just like this, put on, and then sent all the way down to the bottom where they're sifted by archaeologists. And this is all the discoveries, the coins, the golden bell. The golden bell actually wasn't sifted, but it was found here in the upper area, buried in a little section of dirt, the golden bell of the high priest, the Kohen Gadol.
The high priest had a kind of skirt that he wore, and it had a little bell and then a little pomegranate. Bell, pomegranate, bell, pomegranate.
And we found a bell.
Yeah.
That probably, during the destruction, he was probably running away. It got torn off the hem of his garment, fell into one of these drainage ducts, right down here.
Well, that is like a message in a bottle, right?
It is.
That's like, when you find that must be like...
It was unreal. It was put in my hand right after it was found.
Oh my gosh.
Eli Shukran had been found, and I was in the middle of a meeting in my office. And he bursts into the meeting and he puts the clump on the table. And I'm looking at it and he goes, Spielman, pick it up. So I pick it up. Like I said, it wasn't clean. And I was like, and I said, is it gold? And he goes, yeah. And I said, what is it? He goes, shake it. And I shook it. He goes, what's gold? Has a chime inside of it and is pure gold. And now we were sitting at the table. I go, you can't be serious. He goes, yes. And it's the only golden bell, 24 karat gold, with the chime inside of it, found in any excavation in Israel, found directly next to the Temple Mount.
Wow.
It's the feeling that we're so close, like the temple's crying out to you.
And then you even made jewelry, like copies of it, right?
We have copies of it, and you can buy it at the top of the store. We've given them to many first ladies.
Merchandising.
Merchandising.
All right.
We've given them to numerous first ladies.
Right.
You can choose your first lady. You like them, you don't like them. They've gotten the golden bell. That's our common
I think
gift.
I gave it to my first lady.
You know, the Israel Antiquities Authority is very academic and very hesitant about, they don't jump to conclusions. But based on the fact that it's the only one ever found in Israel, and it's intact, and it's pure gold, and it was found next to the temple, even they said, apparently this is the golden bell of the high priest. That was a big score.
Right, did they have a wow moment themselves?
It was a wow. Everybody, you couldn't not.
Look, what's this? Look at this beautiful mosaic.
You're right, wow. That is a beautiful mosaic.
That is a beautiful mosaic.
Yishai, I never noticed that before.
Wow.
Wow, look at that. That is gorgeous. Yishai, go down there and very delicately pour a little bit of water on it. We'll get watch your head.
Okay.
Get a picture of some of the coloration coming out right there. All right. You can pour a little bit more.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So now you can see the red terracotta. And that's an actual mosaic. Those are stones, not painting.
Right.
Wow. Look how gorgeous that is.
Second Temple Jews and Gentiles, lovers of Israel, who came to give homage to the God of Israel, would see this.
Yes.
Would see this. This is what they saw.
This is probably a glorious entry into someone's home that, by the way, you're on the road, you're thirsty, you're hungry. They welcome you in.
Just to get a chance to see it now is amazing. And to touch it and to clean it. First he had me with the ashes, and now my hands are dirty from Second Temple dust. Okay, my hands are getting real dirty, and that's what it's like down here. You're getting your hands dirty, but your soul is clean because you're really touching the past. Here it is, I'm touching the past. It's an unbelievable experience. Doron, why are these stones, these like big Herodian stones, we didn't see them beforehand, I didn't catch them beforehand, suddenly it's a very classic, it's not the new City of David cement that you put down, it's the original floor. I recognize it from the Tomb of the Patriarchs and Matriarchs, right? Am I right here?
This is the actual pilgrimage road. You're standing on the paved stones. Nothing here has changed in 2,000 years. Nothing. You can see it going all the way down to the pool here and then heading north to the temple here. We were shocked when we uncovered the road and found that it exists in all of its glory. And the vision, you have to understand how impossible the vision was of Davidula, the founder of the project, when I spoke to him when we first found the road. And he said, we're going to dig this all the way up to the western wall.
It's like,
and
no
I said,
way.
What? I said, Davidula, how are we going to shore up the village? It's never been done successfully. How are we going to come up with the money? What about this? What about that? And he said, this is the vision. We'll figure it out. First, allow yourself to feel the vision. I looked up in his eyes, and for a moment I saw it. He lives that vision.
Now this guy is about this tall, right? And he is one of the, if not the first, religious observant soldier within the Sayeret Matkal unit.
Yes, he is.
The reason I'm asking about this is because it's important to know a Sayeret Matkal reconnaissance unit, it is also in a sense kind of the Harvard of Israel. Okay, that's where a lot of the big thinkers of Israel come from. And here was a religious guy, and he had a vision for the city of David. His name also happened to be David. It's important to kind of get that consciousness. Like, the things are done here on the Sayeret Matkal level.
They are.
Not to mention, the prime minister himself is also a member of that unit as well.
Come right over here, and you can see how we dig. Look at this. This is what these men and women have been digging for years. This is what it looks like before it's done.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine chiseling away day by day, bucket by bucket? Look at the pottery in the walls that we have not yet discovered. The next bell, the next coin is in here.
Right. The past is always changing. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
The book is already, I have to update it every day because we keep finding more and more stuff. As we continue walking down the road, if we follow Josephus Flavius explains that in the last moments of Jerusalem, there were, according to him, 1 million people in the city, and many of them were killed by the Romans. A few got out to Masada, and at the end, he says that there were 2,000 men, women, and children. They were hiding under this road until he says the Romans tore open the road, found them, and killed them. You can see, you asked how heavy these stones are. They tore them open, and see the pots right here? These were intact, found right here. These were filled with the food that they were eating before they were taken away and killed. Wow. This was the end of life in Jerusalem.
A little bit reminds you of the Nazis, that even at the end of the war, they're absolutely dedicated to killing Jews. And so these Romans, the city is destroyed. I mean, the temple's burnt, but they have a kind of madness and a determination to find the last Jews and to kill them.
Absolutely. And what's in the book is, I was part of the first crew that crawled underneath these stones, and we discovered the pots. Right around here, we realized that there was a staircase over our heads. We were in this tunnel.
Oh, you realized? Yeah. What, because you peeked out of the breaks?
No, we could see it over us going like this, and therefore, Eli Shukran said, okay, the road is over our heads.
Wow.
And we crawled back out, and the excavation began.
Wow, that takes a real archaeologist to understand that. What's going on here?
This is the stores. We reenacted one of the storefronts where it actually took place.
Oh, that's fun. That's really fun. I'm getting the atmosphere of it. I'm walking up. There's some lemon. Yeah. There's some rimon, some pomegranate. I'm getting the atmosphere. I love this. This is great.
This is Ishai Fleischer, an old friend of mine. He's one of the spokespeople for the Jewish community of Hebron and like Gush Etzion, little bit right hand, okay? Strong hand. And this is Doron back here. He is the executive director. You guys have to understand, this is like $100 million project over here. Ir David was completely underground until about like 30 years ago. All this is being dug up right in front of your eyes. Look under those tents. There's guys with like buckets trying to remove all the dirt. Like every time you come back here, there's more excavations, and Doron here is responsible for raising the money and making sure the world is aware of this. It's kind of a big deal, okay? So give it up to these guys.
Yeah. All right.
And give it up to these guys.
These guys are so lucky.
The best. 2.5 weeks. Tomorrow's our last day. We've had the best trip.
Beautiful. So good to see you. I love it. Yeah. I love this noise. This is the noise of history coming to life. I say Our ancient history is a work in progress, okay? It's happening. I love this thing. It's happening. Little dirt is being sifted right now out of the pool. This is the Siloam pool. Is this it?
This is the Siloam pool, and every bag of dirt that's coming out of here, Yishai, is being studied.
Love that. So, Daron, you wrote a book, but here's the stuff happening right now.
Here's it. I'll tell you how all this came to be and why the book is here and why the pool is here. There was a sewage leak here in 2004, and I came down here. It's all in the book from my office, and we saw sewage spraying into a field here, and the tractor was trying to find where the sewage was from, and he found one of these stairs. And we said, what's this stair doing down here at the bottom of the city of David? And it led to a staircase that goes all the way 180 feet long and 25 stairs going down into the mother of all mikvahs. 1.5 Olympic-sized pools, which was the major water drawing source and the purification pool of the Jewish people. It's incredible.
We came here at the end of the tour, but this is essentially the beginning.
Yes.
Right? This is the beginning.
This is it.
This is it. So you start with a purification, and then you go up and up and up. You're making an aliyah l'regel, right? You're going up. It's part of the experience that you're going up to the Temple Mount, and then you have that aha moment, that spiritual suntan, that awe moment, right?
It is, and I'll tell you something why actually I think it's somewhat maybe poetic, but correct that we're starting here. You have that awesome moment. It's incredible. And then you go back about your lives, and it starts to lower over time, and then you come back here again.
Right.
As a community, remember, there was no news, there was no email, how did you know you were going to meet your family? I'd say, you're my brother Yishai. I'll see you here in 1 year.
Right.
I didn't know what happened with your family. We would meet here, hug, have a big barbecue on Passover, come together as a family, and recharge. That's why I keep cycling. And reconnect, and then doing the pilgrimage again.
Part of what you did here in the book is classic. In the middle, there's the white pages, and they're pictures, okay? They're pictures. Let's take a look at just a few pictures. Tell me what this one represents.
So this right here, this is when we actually, the first time we crawled through the tunnel and touched the floor stones of the Temple Mount, the actual foundation stones of the Western Wall. This was our crew. It was the 4 of us and a camera guy and the archaeologist. We crawled on our stomachs underneath the ground. We didn't know what we were going to do, what we would see, until we reached actually the foundation stones of the Temple Mount that sat on Mount Moriah. That was what this is.
There was one more person I wanted to show because it's not just a happy story. There's also some bitter enemies. And here's a bitter enemy. This is Haj Amin al-Husseini, the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, together with Hitler.
You know, he's really the one that set into motion the kind of the craziness, the fanaticism of the Palestinian movement. He sat with Hitler and told Hitler that this is the founder of the Palestinian movement, that they shared the same ideology of carrying out an extermination against the Jews.
That's right.
Had a very proud picture, and he is the one that denied Jewish history, and everyone to this day, right? Mahmoud Abbas, the current head of the Palestinian Authority, quotes Haj Amin al-Husseini.
By the way, Hitler did not like the Arabs. He thought they were also Semites. He wasn't into them. He didn't like their religion. He didn't like anything. But he convinced them that they have a shared value system, which is the destruction of the Jews. That's how they became friendly. And he became later the head of the Bosnian SS and was in charge of really, I think, 40,000 Jews murdered. So he was a very serious and bitter enemy of the Jews. And you're right that he's the father of Palestinianism, that anti-Israelism, that replacement narrative against Israel. Do you think that one day this road will be in use not just as a museum, but also as actually going up to a third temple?
I mean, if the Jews have been praying for a third temple for thousands of years, and when that third temple is built, which is the ultimate fulfillment, I can't think of anything that's been waiting for us longer to use than this road.
Is the story of this tunnel and this whole pilgrimage road, is it in this book?
The main focus of the book, in the center, we get to the uncovering of this road, which is the most magnificent thing, and the magnificent efforts of our enemies to stop this. Because you can understand what this means. When you're talking sovereignty and establishing the state of Israel in Jerusalem, and let's not forget, this is in that area of Jerusalem called East Jerusalem, which the peace agreement, so-called peace agreement, said we should give it away. So you bring someone here, anyone in their right mind, could you imagine giving away the very reason that you're in Israel and the reason that the world wants to come here?
The root of our narrative, what's so ironic about all the peace efforts is that the reason there's a third Commonwealth of Israel today is rooted in its history. How could you give away the thing that roots you in your history?
No question. And
it undermines your whole credibility, your whole legitimacy.
That's right.
Doron Spielman, you're the author of this new book, When the Stones Speak. They're speaking to us throughout this whole tour. We see that the stones are still being revealed. And I'm very excited that this has come out for the English-speaking audience. It's going to come out later for the Hebrew-speaking audience. It's really the story of revelation, of efforts, of a vision, of getting money towards that vision, of overcoming lots of hurdles. And so this is really a story of heroism and revelation. And I want to really thank you for putting this out. And I really want to recommend that people get a chance to read it and, in a sense, bring a little bit of this into your home, into your bookshelf, and make this part of your life. And then also tell it and retell it, because there are forces out there that want to erase Jewish history, want to make us feel like we're thieves and we're wrong and we're evil and we're occupiers and colonialists and every other word that they have. But the truth is that we're the indigenous people. God has brought us back to this land. He's revealing himself through people like yours effort and Davidale and other people. And I just really, really want to thank you and wish you a mazal tov on putting out this great book.
Thank you, my dear friend. And I love what you just said, and I'm going to take that forward. The stones speak, and we have to tell it and tell it and tell it. And you encapsulated, I think, the whole point. Thank you so much, Yishai.
You're the spokesman for the Stones.
And listen, so are you now. We've recruited you.
God bless you folks wherever you are. We are here in beautiful Yerushalayim, and you're a part of it wherever you are. Lots of love and lots of blessings.
Thank you
Shalom.
for joining.